Alright, time for another silly build in customs, and this one's going to involve the new Whale. Now, Whale was one of the strongest units in the previous version of the game. It had an incredible base stat line, I think it was 410, which at tier 4 is kind of ridiculous. And its ability is incredibly good as well, because you could put a unit from the shop that just has base stats in front of it, and then when it spits it out, it's going to have double or triple the starting stats at level 2 and 3. Now, they have changed the base stats, so the stats are lower. I don't remember exactly what they are, but both the attack and the health were toned down. But on top of that, they've actually changed the ability completely. So instead of spitting the unit out with multiplied stats, the unit that gets swallowed keeps its original stats. So in some respects that's a nerf, but in other respects it's kind of a significant buff. And we're going to try and take advantage of that here in customs with some of the other units outside of Turtle Pack. So we're also taking Tamarin, which is a unit that I almost never take anymore. It was once a powerhouse of customs when you used to get 150% of stats from selling the level 3. But these days you do still see it pretty frequently, as we lose the 50-50 there on the skeleton dog. But yeah, it's not nearly as good as it used to be. However, there are some units that when you sell the Tamarin onto them, they're also kind of unreasonable. I mean, we know there's a lot of tier 6s that have abilities based on their own attack and health, I suppose, with Highland Cow. But the one we're interested in today is the Hydra. So Hydra's ability is to summon a 5/5 Hydra head for every 10 attack it has. So if we can sell the Tamarin onto the Hydra, then hopefully when it faints, it's going to spawn a bunch of Hydra heads, and that's going to be good enough to clean up the opposing team. Now, the problem with running Hydra with Whale, and why you never saw it before, is that you would need a bunch of empty space on your team for the Hydra heads to actually appear when the Whale swallows it. And of course, when it spits it back out, it's going to lose all of the stats that it had in the first place. So, even with triple base stats, you're not going to get the full spread of Hydra heads. So what we're going to do to mitigate that is just run a 2 squad. And I also set myself the restriction or added complication to this, that I wanted to have the magic carpet toy, which is from the Sphinx. And it basically works like horse, where every time a unit is summoned, it gives it extra attack. Now, I really did want, ideally, to have a level 3 Sphinx, so that we were getting the maximum amount of attack onto our Hydra heads. But that was proving unrealistic when I was having to try and level the Hydra and the Whale to level 3 as soon as I possibly could. There were some games where I got into that position, but they generally ended up taking too long. And then when you get to, turn 17 and so on, your chances of winning with a 2 squad are pretty minimal. So here we swap the 1/1 tar from the Stoat for a base stats tar. That's something that you wouldn't have needed to do before, but now you can do it, and when the tar comes out of the Whale, it's going to be a 6/5 instead of a 1/1, or 6/3 rather. And here we actually get matched with Not a Game Devlog. I'll link his channel in the description. Going for a very funny Tabby Cat plus Honey Bear perk gaining squad. Of course, the Mink automatically gains a perk as well, so lots of good synergy going on there. Now here we do have a 13-11 Tamarin, but ideally it would be a much bigger unit than that at this point. Hopefully you're going to get the level ups when you have a bunch of Clownfish, or maybe the level up toy from the Sphinx, and the magic lamp. And you can get very, very large Tamarins by stacking all of those level up buffs at once. However, in this particular run, it doesn't pan out that way. Hydra does have decent starting stats though, so even just adding 13-11 should make a difference. Now here we take the Alpaca, and we actually get a level 3 as a result of the in-battle ability, and then we're just going to scrape a tie, which is very nice because we don't yet have our Hydra, and we also still need to get Whale to level 3. But what I think I'm going to do here is take the chocolate on the whale to make sure we don't lose it, and then we're going to go for level 2 cow. Now, cow is an extremely strong unit, especially when you get it to level 2 or higher, and that's simply because of the waffle. So obviously in Turtle Pack, you have a limit on how many times you can actually activate the cow's ability, because once it maxes out at level 3, it's pretty much useless and you'd have to buy a new cow. However, in Customs, you have access to both waffle and catfish, so you can activate the cow a bunch of times and really take advantage of the premium scaling you get from the higher level milks. And there was a bonus in one of the recent updates. They added the Easter egg that was once on the test server but never made it to live. And that was to activate chocolate milk when you give the cow chocolate. I don't know if I do it here. I don't think I do, since I end up rolling the cow in the shop. I think what we're going to do is go for the level 2 flounder, because we have to race towards level 3 Hydra as soon as possible. And to that end, we're going to take another level up. We get 2 oysters. I think I'm going to freeze the oysters here rather than the cats. Cat probably isn't even really necessary here. If we get enough waffles, the cow by itself is going to be strong enough. And I have been seeing a lot of people playing onboard turtle in the current version. I guess that makes sense. There's so many ailments now. And turtle is probably the best way to get rid of those ailments. There are a few mandrakes out there as well, so maybe some of those turtles are having their abilities turned off, but I guess you can give them ambrosia as well for a bit of extra protection. Now here I was way too eager buying the Hydra, and I realised afterwards I was supposed to sell the tamarin. I guess that shows how rusty I am in terms of tamarin usage. But we used the flounder with the strawberry jam to get the cheap 4 chocolates. And then the level up gives us 2 more Hydras. So we actually get a bit of a let off. We do lose a little bit of stats here because of that mistake, but it's not going to be too bad overall. And then we buy, sell another crow. So we're 1 chocolate away from the level 3 Hydra. Now we just need to try and race to 50 attack on the Hydra, so that when the whale swallows it, we're going to get a bunch of 15-15 summons at the level 3. And actually I think, yeah, if we have enough, if we manage to get to 50 attack, we'll fill the board with 4 15-15s, and then 1 will fly off the screen because there won't be enough space. So yeah, turn 13, we are starting to run out of time. We really need to win out as quickly as we can. There is another flounder there, but we don't need it. We're just looking for waffles and then pile the stats onto the Hydra. And then as soon as the Hydra hits 50-50 or as close as we can get, then we can start topping up the whale stats. Obviously it's going to hit 50 health sooner, so the cow's milk does become more valuable on the whale at a certain point. But you can see just how strong whale still is. You know, we're getting the 4 melons from 1 level 1 turtle there. Yeah, kind of ridiculous. I guess turtle is a pretty overpowered unit as well. So I take the chicken legs here. Ideally I wanted waffle. We do get 1, so I'm just going to sell amalgamation. Obviously that decreases our chances of winning the next battle, but we're just investing everything we can in these 2 units because we're going to have to sell everything else in the end. We just need to keep a lookout for a Sphinx because I really do want to get the toy on board. Unfortunately here we run into this Lioness team with triple behemoth, 30 behemoths on turn 14, and then a huge reindeer as well. I guess it wasn't too far off. Maybe if we'd had level 3 Hydra there we might have had a chance. And we're going to get maxed out health now, but not quite on the attack front. Now look at this. This is a really nice shop because we get the pill for the turtle. We can take the Sphinx for the magic carpet, and then we can also activate the waffle. I guess I'm going to overwrite the pill. I suppose we are on 8 wins, so we do still get 1 more chance to pill the turtle. I didn't put melon in this pack because I was specifically aiming for all the high value foods. And here, although this looks like a very strong team with the kept tier 1 and level 3 monkey, the fact that we have the melons from the turtle makes all the difference. So there's the Hydra level 3. I think it's probably unrealistic to get it to 50 attack, but actually that only means that we lose out on one Hydra head, because when the Hydra is swallowed initially, we're only going to get 4, so it would only be 5 Hydra heads after the whale faints. But then it's another perfect shop where we end up getting the Sphinx to refresh the toy just in case we get a very unlikely tie. And we have our level 3 Hydra, level 3 whale, which is exactly what I wanted. Hopefully the whale's attack is high enough that the Hydra won't get hit by a skunk. And they don't actually have a skunk. They do have the new Bakunawa, which halves the attack on the whale, which is kind of unfortunate when we are relying on 2 units. But there we go, we get 4 Hydra heads, all with a little bit of extra attack from the magic carpet, although I don't think it actually mattered. And then the level 3 hatching chick at the back is too weak to deal with the final Hydra head. So that wasn't the first one I'd had going for this. I had this run as well with where we're getting good luck with the waffles. Again, we don't have the level 3. I really wanted level 3 on both units. And you can see there we ended up getting lucky with another Sphinx. And then the opponent it gives me on turn 14 is extremely weak. I don't know what's going on here, how this team managed to get to turn 14. I guess purely based on the strength of the turtle there, because they've got 2 tier 1s and a level 1 shark. And although the shark has durian, we end up winning there as well. So I feel like whale probably is going to end up getting changed again at some point because it still seems problematic to me. But for now, there's lots of unusual teams you can make with it, so why not give it a try?